You've probably already heard how the increasing effectiveness of large language models like ChatGPT is driving demand for NVIDIA's products. And that's true. However, there are other use cases for AI that are poised to add incremental growth to NVIDIA in the upcoming years. Those include areas like healthcare, driverless car technology, and robotics. I'll talk about those and other factors that have the potential to generate billions in revenue for NVIDIA and its shareholders. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. So NVIDIA's management on August 28th elaborated on those areas I talked about earlier and how they could be next generation or next level revenue generators for the company. And here's an excerpt from that earnings call. They said every automaker is developing autonomous vehicle technology using NVIDIA in their data centers. Automotive will drive multi-billion dollars in revenue across on-premises and cloud consumption and will continue to grow as next-generation autonomous vehicle models will require significantly more computing power. Now, they go on to say that healthcare is also on its way to being a multi-billion dollar business as AI revolutionizes medical imaging, surgical robots, patient care, electronic health record processing, and drug discovery. So let me take each of these two one at a time. Let's start with automakers and autonomous vehicles and driverless car technology. Now, this isn't something that's going to become a multi-billion dollar business this year, maybe not even next year. Autonomous vehicles and driverless car technology is just now getting to the point where people are paying for this technology. It's just now getting to the point where people are paying meaningful sums of money for this technology. Now, the most widely popularized driverless car technology company is Tesla. They talk about how they plan to develop this robo-taxi service, and each one of its Tesla vehicles can become a driverless car that can go around driving people places and that could drive billions, if not hundreds of billions in revenue for Tesla. However, there are other companies that are already on the roads today getting paid to offer driverless rides, and it's growing in select cities worldwide, a couple of cities in the United States, several more cities in China, and other parts of the world are experimenting with the technology and incrementally building it out. So it's in the very, very early stages of development here, but it looks poised to become mainstream within the next decade, or at the very latest, the next 2 decades. So in the next year or two, maybe this is not going to be a big driver for NVIDIA's revenue growth, but if we imagine a world where driverless cars are abundant and they consist of the majority of cars on the road, then you can imagine a world that has all of those computing requirements needed for those driverless cars to be computed with NVIDIA accelerated computing. Now, like I highlighted, that's not in the next year or two, but by the time the current driver of growth, which is the AI data center, that's what's driving growth for NVIDIA right now. By the time that one starts to slow down considerably, that driverless car technology could be the next leg of growth for NVIDIA. And the timing could be, now the odds of it being just perfect is, that's not great, but it could be, the timing could be perfect where just as investments in AI data centers starts to decline from those large hyperscalers, investments from companies like Tesla and Ford and GM and maybe Alphabet for its Waymo driverless car technology will start to increase and offset those declines from large cloud computing providers. So this is huge for NVIDIA. It's potentially multi-billion dollars, and it could be much larger than that. It could be multi-tens of billions. It could be multi hundreds of billions at the higher end. If you really get that all out scaled and it's going full steam, it could be at the multi-hundreds of billions at the highest end, but more likely in the multi-tens of billions. The next area they talk about here is healthcare. That's also on its way to becoming a multi-billion-dollar business as AI revolutionizes certain areas. And the one that's most exciting to me out of the ones they mention here, including medical imaging, surgical robots, patient care, healthcare processing, is the last one they mentioned, which is drug discovery. That is the most exciting area for me and the area with the highest potential reward for both people and healthcare companies and Nvidia. If Nvidia's GPUs, accelerated computing solutions, start to increase the rate of drug discovery, where we are finding solutions for diseases that we haven't been able to find solutions for tens, for decades and for hundreds of years. And if Nvidia now accelerates the pace of drug discovery, imagine the value to humanity, the value to companies, the value to people, how much people would be willing to pay for these cures and these drugs, and companies, how much they would invest after they realize that Nvidia's accelerated computing solutions help iterate the process much quicker and therefore come to conclusions on drug discovery much quicker. And instead of companies taking years and decades to find solutions, they can find solutions in months instead of decades. The cure for cancer, cure for other significant diseases, that is so exciting. And the potential is even larger than that of what I just talked about with driverless car technology, which at the very high end could be several hundreds of billions of dollars. It could be similar for drug discovery and, in the several hundreds of billions of dollars at the very high end, but at the lower end, perhaps in the tens of billions of dollars. If, of course, it proves successful in accelerating the pace of drug discovery. Now, we haven't seen very strong evidence of this just yet. There have been little signs here and there, but if we start to see really strong evidence of this, the kind of breakthrough that we saw with ChatGPT, that kind of step up in innovation, if we see that here in healthcare, that could certainly realistically be a huge driver of growth for Nvidia. So while the current generation of growth, Nvidia's 100%, north of 100% quarterly revenue growth, is being driven by large language models and investments from large cloud providers, these two areas could be those hidden gems that, Nvidia is advertising here as multi-billion-dollar businesses. It seems like they're understating those potentials. Multi-billion dollars, I would expect the autonomous vehicle industry to drive multi-billions of dollars in revenue for Nvidia even before driverless car technology. Just in where we're at today, where cars are beginning to do more than cruise control, right? They can help you park in tight spots. They can help you parallel park. They can help switching lanes, and they can do more than just cruise control, but they're not quite there yet in terms of driverless cars. Even incrementally moving forward in that category could drive billions in revenue for Nvidia. So at the higher end, I think that opportunity is much larger than just multiple billions of dollars. So this is some of the reasons why I've been bullish on Nvidia stock. Is I suspect the company's growth drivers and growth opportunities to be quite large, beyond large language models, beyond the current age of factors and end use cases that are driving revenue for Nvidia. They have these other opportunities that could be huge. They could be big home runs. Even if they're not big home runs, they could still generate multiple billions of dollars in revenue for Nvidia stock investors. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.